something more abstract than a level 1 human.
Sure.
Did that make sense?
I think it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal, Mark. What you're saying makes a lot of dang sense.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I mean, my wife and I have talked about this, like, would we be happier in, like, a small town community? There certainly are some, like, downsides to it, right? Where it's like, you know, you have, like, you could become a social pariah, and, like, you know, everyone knows everyone, there's, like, a lot of gossiping, and, you know,
Hey,
there's a lot of...
forgive me, Mark, what does it mean by social pariah? That's a word I'm not completely familiar with.
I think it's like, you know, in the book The Scarlet Letter or something, like Esther Prynne commits adultery and she gets a red lettered A on her chest, and everyone knows she's the adulteress, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if my next door neighbor went to jail for 6 months for stealing a car, like, I literally wouldn't know, you know?
Got it.
And so it's like, yeah, if you mess up, or there's a lot less gossip, and like, I hate gossip, so it's like that part of it is kind of nice, where everyone's not in everyone else's business. But yeah, I think the pendulum can swing too far, and then you just feel, it can feel isolating.
It's so weird that you are the least isolated out of everyone, but that tends to make people feel more isolated.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm speaking generally. I don't necessarily personally feel isolated, but just like me and my family, you know, we've eventually, like, we've been here now for a number of years, and now we've, like, really started to set some roots in and really get some good friendships and stuff. But I think it takes longer to do that when you're it takes a lot more proactivity in these days, especially in, like, a suburban/city setting, versus what I would imagine 100 years ago, or even in a small town today, where it just kind of happens naturally right away.
Yeah.
So I just did something to try to actively combat this. So, for example, last night, my roommate from college, Steve-O, he gave me a call. And we just talked for, you know, it was 27 minutes and 5 seconds, because I wanted to know. And I looked after the call, and I was like, man, I haven't talked to Steve-O in a really long time. I feel bad about that. I feel really good about having that call with him. How long did we talk? And that's how much it meant to me. And I realized that, you know, I'm slipping on that kind of stuff. And so I've done something that recently, let me get your take on this. I have purchased season tickets to the minor league ball team that's going in place here in Huntsville. They're called...
Can I say the name? Can I say the name? Can I say the name?
Yes, you can say the name.
It would be my great honor to say the name.
Do it.
Mark Rober, the name of the minor league ball club there is the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Are you not immediately a fan?
That's amazing. Was that like an internet vote or something?
It's exactly what it was. It was exactly what it was.
Do you know what Nate said about that, Destin?
What's that?
He said, when he overheard us talking yesterday, he said, is it possible for the name of a team to get promoted from the minor leagues to the big leagues, not like a player, but just the name?
Yes.
It's that good.
It's that good. And so, so I purchased season tickets. Actually, Smarter Every Day purchased season tickets. And this is my thought. So this sense of community that we're losing because we're all kind of going inward, right? Or at least I am. I bought tickets for the family, and we're looking at each other, my wife and I. This is a big investment, right? And so we're like, the goal of these tickets is to promote community. So we will take our children and a friend to the game, or we will take, you know, you Tara, we'll take a couple of your friends and you will go to the game. Like the whole point here is for us to be more extroverted, and to intentionally make relationships with this money that we're investing into this opportunity. And the idea is, because we spent money on it, we're going to feel obligated to do it. Is this dumb?
Good.
This is dumb.
I think that's great. And can I just interject here, Dustin, and say, of all the people that I know, I feel like you are, like, really good at this. Of, like, even though you're super busy and you have all your stuff, I've always felt that, like, you're really good about forging, like, personal connections. I mean, I kept, like, almost giving you a hard time about this, like, when we were at ThinkerCon, and you're, like, organizing this whole thing, and it's, like, the day before the big event, and you're, like, taking me around, showing me, it's, like, 11:30 at night. I'm like, dude, you need to go to sleep. And you're like, oh, let me just show you my lab real quick. And I'm thinking, like, what is this guy thinking? Like, he should not be spending time with me. But it's like, I could just sense that you wanted to share your community with me. You wanted to, like, hang out just to be, like, a cool guy, like, for nothing in return. And, like, yeah, that was, like impactful to me.
Well, it was.
I mean, really. Go ahead.
I mean, think about all the engineering stuff we've done together through the years. At least, like, we bounced ideas off each other. Like,
sure.
this is the only time in my mind that Mark Rober has a reason to come to Huntsville, Alabama. I need to show you my lab. And like, was it not cool walking in the lab and just like
It
me
was
and you,
amazing, dude. But you had so many other things you should have been worried about, and like I would have just been so stressed out. Like, just nobody talk to me. I need to make sure all of these things are crossed off. And like, you were still like taking care of stuff while we were doing it, but like, that was just a great example to me of just like the personal touch and forging relationships. That is something you did not have to do, and I was impressed that you could even do it.
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. Secondly, I wasn't doing it to try to give you a personal touch. Like, I really just wanted to freaking show you the lab, and I really
know,
wanted you
and
to
that's
see it.
my point. And that's like my point, that your brain would even be in that mind space shows that this is something that is like part of your core values and stuff. You know. Anyway.
Yeah. So I don't know where you want to turn the conversation from here, Matt, but to me, you're at this cliff, right? Like, I wanted to do things to help you for like since day one, since I saw your roadkill video.
That's right.
Yeah, and since I saw that, I was like, I like this guy. He doesn't know me. I want to be his friend. And I reached out and we started interacting with each other. Like, from that moment, I'm like, I want this guy to succeed. I want him to be big. I want him to be bigger than me, which you're going to do, by the way. You're going to be...
Whatever. I still don't believe that.
That's like Matt.
The numbers say otherwise. It's going pretty well right now, man.
Yeah, and and
if you honestly you keep working on it, I wouldn't be surprised if you even outstrip the 10-minute Bible hour. I'd like a phone call when that happens.
Got it. It's just like a courtesy phone call. No, but I think like it's really nice to see someone get success and they're doing good things and they're thinking about what they're going to do with that platform once they have it. I know you're doing that, and it feels really good to see a friend be successful. And I'm really excited and proud of you and all those good things, all those gushy things. But I also know that you're standing at the edge of this big cliff. It's like in Zelda. I don't know if you play Zelda on Switch, but like there's a couple of places in the game where you're standing over this big ledge and you're seeing over the entire world, and like all this stuff is about to happen. And I feel like you're right there, and I'm excited for you. And I'm like, I don't know. It's fun to watch.
I appreciate that, man. And I felt that from the day one. Like, I mean, when you subscribed to me, I was like, I mean, you were like massive. And like YouTube, it's funny now because I think you had like, 250,000 subscribers, which is still a lot of subscribers, right? I don't want to like demean that, but by today's standards, that's a pretty small number, right? But I remember I was like, dude, my life is pretty much complete now. I'm done.
Yeah, but I mean, internet fame is not. It's like the. I had this program at work one time where I was trying really, really hard to get this certain. It's not a contract, but a test program. I was trying to get it, so I get on the airplane, went to the Pentagon, gave presentations, and then at the end of the day, they were like, "Yeah, Destin, you and your team, you're the guys. You're the ones that are going to do it." And I went home, and it was like, "Holy cow, I got it!" And my boss looks at me, and I'll never forget him saying this. He looks at me, he goes, "Hey, Destin, you're about to learn a lesson." And I was like, "Yes, sir." He said, "You know how the dog is running down the street after the garbage truck all the time?" I was like, "Yes, sir." He said, "What happens if the dog catches the truck?" And I said, what do you mean? I was like, "What happens if the dog catches the truck? What does it do?" And it was like, I don't know. It's like he'll bite the tire, and it's just like, what happens? And so what he was telling me in that moment is like, we, people that make things for the world, and people all over the place that maybe even listen to this, the fourth chair here, that think about, man, if I could just make that one thing, or like every kid in the world who looks up to you as you're a YouTuber, what happens if you become a YouTuber? Or what happens if you get that thing, the carrot that's always moving closer to the horizon?
Yep.
And so you're there. Do you feel like you're there? Do you feel like the dog caught the truck right now?
No, I mean, what you're saying rings so true to me, which is, by the way, why, for me personally, I still have a job at a company, and I'm trying to people are like, dude, you should do 2 videos a month. And I'm like, for what? Like, what's the goal there? For more money? It's like, I feel like I have enough money, right? It's like, basically what you do is you get a little bit of a high because it's like, oh, you're getting more whatever things, but now you've just cranked up the treadmill, and now you have to be running at that new pace. Like, for what gain? And you can't keep that up, which is why you see so many YouTubers who get this, like, burnout and all this stuff. So it's like, for me personally, I just have to look at it as like, dude, I do a video a month, I do the best I can, and I do these other things in my life, and I'm happy with this pace, and I'm feeling content, and that's it. Honestly, I feel like I've done a decent job in my own brain, in my own life, of fighting for that balance and maintaining that, and that helps a ton. Because like you said, that carrot is just always, think about when you're in school, you're like, oh, if I could just, as soon as I'm graduated, I won't have to do homework. That'll be the best, right? And then you graduate. It's like, okay, I'm graduated. As soon as I get married, as soon as we get a house. Like, there's always that one other thing. And if you forget to be happy in the moment, like, pretty much, life ends up passing you by, and you're like, oh, wait, like, it never came. I love that dog caught the truck, by the way. That's I'm totally stealing that.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes, it is. So what's the point of it all, man? I mean, I guess any of it. If the dog catches the truck and it's a truck and it's a dog and there's effectively nothing the dog can do to or with the truck, why keep chasing the truck? What's the end game?
I think what I've kind of wrapped my head around, it's like they've done studies where if you get a raise, if your goal is to like maximize the dopamine to your brain, like you'll get a lot more dopamine to your brain basically if you get like incremental raises over 10 years versus if you get one massive raise for the same amount and then you're plateaued the rest of the time. And so to me, it's like, it's measured, continuous growth, challenging yourself, pushing yourself a little out of your comfort zone, and just leveling up one level at a time in life, like slowly but surely. I think that's another reason this has made me a little uneasy, because this feels like a sudden big level up, right?
Right.
Like the slow, consistent little levels up, I feel like no matter what your domain is, for us we're talking about YouTube, but it could be in your profession or with your relationship with your family, whatever it is, like consistently just getting a little bit better than the day before. If your goal is to maximize the grams of dopamine that go to the brain, I think, man, that's the secret. And so that's about living in the moment and enjoying each day and not getting caught up in like some big thing in the future, which is every day getting a little bit. That feels like a platitude, but honestly, to me, that has brought me some content and peace thinking about it that way.
Well, that's smart. You sound like you from a couple weeks ago, by the way. You don't sound different. And based on what you're telling me, I think that's good because, the level up plan is sustainable. That's something in which there's fulfillment and life and something you can share with other people forever. And golly, dude, I hope you have dozens more days like what the last 2 days have been for you. But the reality is, that might just be a really special couple of days.
For sure.
And if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like that would be okay.
Yeah, totally. That's totally. And ironically, as you're saying that, my channel just hit 5 million subscribers.
We need to applaud. Good job, Mark. Good job. Congratulations, man. Wow. But I think I know you well enough to know that it's not about dopamine. It's not a dopamine hit, right? I mean, like, you're a relational human. Like, you value relationships with people. And I think there's some, I don't know what it, like for me, leveling up in the way you're it's hard because no matter what we say, we're going to sound shallow or whatever because I mean these are things that people think about but nobody can articulate. But for me, leveling up recently has started looking like being able to sit down and read a book with the kids or I don't know. It's like I'm hearing you talking about your neighbors and that relationship with your neighbors and how important that is to you. That feels like a well-rounded thing to value.
Yeah, and all that was just to say, like, the dopamine thing is just a way to break down to, like, the first principles of even when you sit down with your kids, right? Like, that's just a scientific way, I guess, of saying that, like, oh, you feel better about that situation, right? You're feeling good about life.
Yeah, it's dude, this is, I feel like we're putting our finger right on the heart of everything right now. Because if 21-year-old Mark Rober had been, somebody sat you down and briefed you on, hey, look, here's the deal. December 2018, you're going to pour in all of your engineering skill, all of your social with-itness. You're going to pour everything into this thing, and it's going to make a lot of people feel things, and you're going to make people think about blah, 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 and everyone's going to love you. Like that happened. Like, you wouldn't be able to wrap your brain around that at a young age.
For sure.
And I feel like the Mark Rover I'm talking to right now gets it and understands that everything that you have right now, even the $5 million, it's awesome, but it's fleeting. And it's, I don't know. I think,
Totally.
yeah, and I don't know. I think that's why I'm so happy that it's happening to you.
Yeah, it's kind of like this reminds me a little bit of like if you can stay grounded like this, it's like the phrase "this too shall pass," which like can kind of have two meanings. Like in some ways, if things are going really amazing, it's like, or I guess if typically I think people view it as like, oh, if things are going really bad, like hang in there, endure. This too shall pass, right? So don't worry, you're gonna return to the mean. But there's the other flip side to it is like if you're doing something awesome and it's like, oh, you get 5 million subscribers, it's like, hey pal, don't get too thinking you're so awesome because this too shall pass, right? So it's like helping to keep your brain in this aspect of like, look, there's a regression to the mean. You're gonna have really lows, you're gonna have really highs. Just remember that like it's somewhere in between, and like that just helps keep you grounded, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot easier when you're lucky to have what you have right now. Use your time and energy and investment at family and relationships,
Right.
and
We all
there's
have
a
that.
big difference
Sure.
when you have this conversation with somebody who's had a well-earned great run and is still on that wave, who is going through that low.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that conversation with somebody who's got roots deep in the ground with relationships and responsibilities like that,
Totally.
yeah, you're well equipped to handle the good that comes with it. And I know that because I have this podcast microphone, and that makes me an authority. Who's well equipped to handle that. It's $200. You can buy it and become an authority too, anyone. Mark, not to be too abrupt in changing the subject, but I think the next sensation that's going to sweep the internet is going to be these color swatches that I'm taking from the paint store here in town. And I want to give you a chance to get in on the ground floor with this.
So can I tell him what's going on?
Yeah,
So
please.
Matt has been posting for several days now. Matt has been posting these color swatches with names, and it's like, Granny Smith apple or whatever for a green. And I've been watching them, and I'm like, man, these are like one of them was called Grandpa's Stool. And it was brown, and I was like, yeah, I guess whoever named that could be like thinking about like Cracker Barrel, like Grandpa's Stool in the shop, his workshop, or I'm like, what's going on? And then Matt just revealed to me just before you got on the phone that he has been photoshopping these names into them, and he's gradually making them more and more ridiculous. So yeah.
It's my plan, and people just started to catch on. So
Wait,
here's
hold
where we
on.
started.
Let me understand this. So you are
Just go to his Twitter, Mark. Go to his
Okay,
Twitter.
well, but I think this is actually genius. So you're taking these, you're photoshopping it, and then you're not actually putting them in the store, are you? Or you're just photoshopping it on?
You've helped me take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing. That's a good idea.
We might,
You walk up, you're
we
like,
might need to edit this part out because I don't want someone stealing Mark's idea that's my idea.
you're like, I think the main one will be Grandpa's Stool with a trim of Kelly Clarkson.
Wait, what?
Oh god, dude, go look at, Mark, go look at Matt Whitman TMPH real quick. I just saw the Pelican ones.
Yeah, so Soft Pelican is real.
Dude, I thought Shroot was real. You did that?
No, I made that. I found a mustard swatch, and I renamed it Shroot. I'm really proud of it.
Golly, man.
So it's been fun to watch people
Hold on.
gradually start to
Freedom
question
from
this.
Information Act.
Yeah, it's Freedom of Information Act Black. It's redacted, man.
Just scroll down, they get better. Man, I think what I like about this is I wasn't in on the joke, and I'm usually in on your jokes.
Soft
Yeah, I decided to.
Dude, this is
mermaid cheeks real? Tell me mermaid cheeks.
Some of these are real. Mermaid cheeks is real. Some of these are real.
I see.
And that's the thing is I was hoping people would go and like Google some of the paint names because I'm warming them up for the old Switch. So I hope people would go and Google happy endings and be like, wait, he would not do that's very offensive. That has a meaning. And then they Google the paint name and they're like, oh, no, he wouldn't put something offensive like that. That's real.
That is amazing.
Happy endings is real.
But now they're becoming worse. Happy endings is real.
What about Fava Bean?
Shroot, Hard Pelican, Grandpa's Stool, and Freedom of Information Act are false. Fava Bean, Happy Endings, Pickled Ginger, all those are real, man.
Dude, you're onto something here.
Oh, they're gonna get so much worse, guys. Do you want me to read you some of the ones that are coming up?
Yeah.
Because I've got a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Okay, this is.
And by the way, guys, I do have I got to bail in just a minute.
Do you want us just to round it out?
Oh, get a few views on the internet. Now I have appointments.
You're not the same, Rover.
Now that I hit 5 million, everything's changed.
No, it mid
Hey, let's
podcast.
do an over/under on when Mark passes smarter every day. I'm thinking a week and a half.
This makes me sad even to say this, Destin.
I think
Will
it's this
not
month.
happen.
Yeah.
What? How many subscribers do you even have right now?
Over
16
6.
something, right?
Oh, dude, it'll be a week and a half. You'll pass me.
That's got that video has so much legs left
There
in
is
it.
some inertia on this video. I feel sad if that does happen. I feel like that shouldn't happen. And this feels
There's
like
nothing to be
cheating.
sad about. You've done a great job. It's awesome.
dude.
Cheating by making a great video and having people love it.
Honestly,
Whatever.
yeah, doing it honest and by hard work and ingenuity. Yeah, this is so awful.
You think I apologized and felt guilty when I made that video about poop and literally thousands of people watching? No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, so do we need to round you out here, Mark? Let you go.
Round me out.
Mark, thank you so much for spending the time. And like seriously, it is an honor. You could have done a lot of stuff with this moment.
Okay.
And to get on Noted Questions with us is frankly humbling.
This is the pinnacle, dude. All I gotta say, the dog has caught the truck. The dog has caught the truck.
Dude, I'm a garbage truck.
Yeah, let's be sure to get you to a Trash Panda game, and I'm sure we'll be seeing each other in text land here shortly. So
Sounds good,
Mark,
guys.
high five. Well earned, dude. Nice job.
Thanks.
Nice job.
Thank you. And this was a lot of fun. It was really cool. I appreciate the opportunity.
Likewise.
thanks, man. Yep.
Cool, buddy.
All right,
Keep
guys.
crushing it. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.